Okay guys, today's lesson is lesson 91. Number 1, 3 quarters, 4 dimes, 2 nickels, and 7 pennies is how much money? So I wrote the amount of money times how many we have. 25 cents times 3. 3 times 5 is 15, carrier 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 decimal places is 75 cents. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 decimal places is 40 cents. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 0 is 0 with 2 decimal places. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1 with 2 decimal places again. Now we add all these up, and I'm going to stack them because I think that's easier. You can do whatever you want. So 5 and 7 make 12, carry a 1. 1 and 7 make 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. 2 decimal places, and the amount of money those coins are equal to is $1.32. $1.32 for number 1. Number 2. Colvin separated 37 math books as equally as possible into 4 stacks. How many stacks had 9 books? So we're going to divide by 4. What times 4 is almost 37? I know that 4 times 9 is 36. But 7 minus 6, that leaves 1 left over. This 1 left over is 1 book that's going to be on a shelf with these 9. So you're going to have 3 shelves with 9 and 1 shelf with 10 books. The question for number 2, how many stacks had 9 books? That answer would be 3 stacks. And part B, how many stacks had 10 books? If you look back at our picture, that would be 1 stack. I think I said shelves earlier, I'm sorry. Number 3, Gregor paid $1 for a folder and received 52 cents and change. If the tax was 3 cents, how much did the folder cost without tax? So first let's subtract the $1, make this a 0. This 0 becomes a 9. This 0 is a 10. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 5 is 4 with a decimal point. This is how much the folders cost with tax. Or wait, without tax. Let me think. $1 received 52 cents and change. I think I need to 48. Number 3. Yeah, this is an incorrect symbol right here. I need to subtract 3 cents because this is the total amount with tax. So we need to subtract the tax and get 45 cents. That's the cost of the folders without tax. Sorry about that. Number 4. Ryan wrote each of his 12 spelling words 5 times. In all, how many words did he write? So 12 words, 5 times each. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry a 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. He wrote 60 words for number 4. Number 5. In the 2004 presidential election, 5,992 voters in Blaine County, Idaho, voted for candidate John Kerry. 4,034 voters voted for candidate George Bush. Which shows the best estimate of how many votes both candidates received altogether? So we're rounding to the thousands place. Underline the 5. Look at the 9. That would become 6,000. It's rounding up. 4. Look at the 0. That's a round down. Stays 4,000. So you need to choose the option that says 6,000 plus 4,000 is 10,000. We're skipping number 6, going on to number 7. Choose the shaded part of this square as a fraction. We know when a hundreds block is divided into pieces that are long like that, it's 10 tens. And how many do we have all together? Can count those. That would be 7 tenths. 7 tenths. Part B. Choose 7 tenths as a decimal. So I know that the first decimal place is the tenths, so I just put a 7 there with a decimal, and this is 7 tenths. Number 8, 1/6 of 48 crayons are in the box. How many crayons are in the box? So 6 times what is closest to 48? 6 times 8 is actually exactly 48. Subtract and you have no remainder. So there are 8 crayons in the box because 8 is equal to 1/6 of 48. Number 9. We're looking at this number line. If segment AB is 32 millimeters long, BC is 26 millimeters long, and the whole line is equal to 91, how many millimeters is CD? So we need to add up to find what the distance from A to C is, and then subtract the total length. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. Subtract 58 from 91. I have to borrow. 9 becomes an 8. 1 becomes 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. If you count up, you get 3. 8 minus 5 is 3. So I got 33 millimeters on number 9. Yes. Number 10. Which digit in 6 and 125 thousandths is in the hundredths place? So we know tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 2 is in the hundredths place. Number 11. If a pint of water weighs about 1 pound, then about how many pounds does a quart, which is 2 pints of water, weigh? So we have 1 pound times 2 pints, and that gives us 2 pounds for 2 pints on number 11. On number 12, I have 4 32 hundredths minus 432 thousandths. I made this 0 red because I added it just as a placeholder. If you add a 0 after your decimal places, it has no value, but it helps you line up your columns. So here we go. Let's subtract this. I need to borrow from the 2, make it a 1. 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. I cannot take 3 from 1. Borrow from a 3. 3 becomes a 2. This 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. I can't take 4 from 2. Gotta borrow again. 4 becomes a 2. This 2 becomes 12. Minus 4 is 8 again. Bring down your decimal, and that 4 did not become a 2. Look at me go. I made a mistake. If you take 1 from 4, it becomes a 3. So 3 minus 0 is 3. Sorry about that. So you should get 3 and 888 thousandths. Let me make sure that, yep, that's an option. Number 13, 25 plus 5 plus n is equal to 30. So let's rewrite this again after we solve this part of the equation. 25 plus 5 is 30 plus n equals 30. So this one's going to be a little bit tricky. We have to isolate the variable, so subtract 30. But we know 30 minus 30 is 0. These two cancel each other out. Can n equal 0? Yes. N is equal to 0 in this problem. 14. $6.08 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry your 6. 8 times 0 is 0. Plus 6 is 6. 2 decimal places. 8 times 6 is 48. And make sure you have a dollar sign. $48.64 on number 14. Number 15, you're getting more 2 by 2 multiplication practice. 7 times 4 is 28. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. And here we're going to do three things. We need to mark out what we carried, mark out that first ones place, and add a 0. Now I can start all over again. 2 times 7 is 14, carry a 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Now we're adding. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 8 is 12. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 1,128 is number 15. Number 16, 36 times 62. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now we're going to do those three things. 1, 2, 3. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. Add these two. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 7 is 13. 2, 2. 2,232 on number 16. Number 17, 53 times 30. I let the 0 hang over. You could do a regular 2 by 2 problem to solve that, but you don't need to. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 3 is 15. 1,590 is number 17. Number 18, 63 times 37. 7 times 3 is 21. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 2 is 44. Now do the three things. 1, 2, 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 3 is 18. So now add them up. 1, 9 and 4 is 13. 13 again. 2,331 on number 18. Number 19, 32 times 100. Let the zeros hang off the edge. Put them in your answer. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. You should get 3,200. Number 20, 3,456 divided by 4. I know that 8 times 4 is 32. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring down your 5. Now I have 25. 6 times 4 is 24, is as close as you can get. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down your 6. 4 times 4 is exactly 16. Subtract, and you have no remainder. Your answer is 864. 864 on number 20. Yeah. I need to fix that. Yeah, that's an answer there. Okay, moving on. 21. 6,912 divided by 8. 8 times what is close to 69? I get 8 times 8 is 64. Subtract, 9 minus 4 is 5. Bring down a 1. 8 times what is closest to 51? 8 times 6 is 48. 8, 9, 10, 1. That would be 3. Bring down a 2. 32 divided by 8 is equal to 4. 32. None left over. This answer is 864. So 20 and 21 are both 864. 22. $50.40 divided by 7. 7 will not go into 5. Go over to 50. 7 times 7 is 49. 50 minus 49 is 1. Go ahead and put the decimal in your answer. Bring down a 4. 7 times what is 14? 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract, and you have a 0. Remember to just keep going until you run out of digits. How many 7s are in 0? 0. 7 times 0 is 0. Subtract, and you have none left over. So your answer is, for number 22, $7.20. 23 and 24 we're skipping. 25, choose 21 thousandths as a fraction. Anytime you hear that thousandths, the denominator is 1,000, and then the numerator, 21. It's exactly the way it sounds, 21 thousandths. And now this one might be a little bit tricky for some of you. 25b, write it as a decimal. So you need to write 21 thousandths, just like that. $26. Emma mixed 2 quarts of frozen orange juice from frozen concentrate. She knows 1 quart is 32 ounces. The small juice glasses Emma is filling have a capacity of 6 fluid ounces. How many glasses can she fill? So first let's multiply to find out how many ounces would be in 2 quarts. 32 times 2 would be, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6. That's 64 ounces. So how many 6-ounce glasses can she fill? So 6 goes into 6 one time. Subtract, and you have none left over. Bring down your 4. This is why it's important to keep up the division pattern. How many 6s are in 4? I say that's 0. You still have to put 0 in your answer. 0 times 6 is 0. Now I have a remainder of 4. So I can fill 10 glasses with a remainder of 4 ounces. So she can fill 10 glasses. 27. Use the polygons above to answer A through C. Which of these polygons has no lines of symmetry? You can't divide it and it be perfect on both sides. So that would be polygon D. Polygon D, you cannot divide perfectly and beautifully. 27B. Which of these have rotational symmetry? You can just rotate it and it's the same. You can draw the same lines of symmetry. So which 2 of these? That would be polygons A and B. A and C it should be. Yeah, A and C. Because A and C. A is an equilateral triangle. C is a square. 27C. Which polygon is not a quadrilateral? Remember that word quad means 4. The triangle only has 3 sides, so it's letter A. 28. How many degrees does the minute hand of a clock turn in a half an hour? So I drew a really ugly clock. The first 15 minutes is 90 degrees. Every 15 minutes is 90 degrees. And the second 15 is 90 degrees. So 90 times 2. 0 times 2 is 0. 9 times 2 is 18. That would be 180 degrees. 29. That kind of looks like a comma, but it is not. 4 and 2 tenths compared to 4 and 2 thousandths, we'll say. These are equal numbers. They're just trying to trick you by putting these zeros at the end. Remember, zeros after the last digit in your decimal do not change the value. Now, if this was a number with a comma, 4,200 is very different than 42. So don't confuse that. You can't do that all the time, only after a decimal, okay? So those 2 numbers are equal. Number 30 is really easy. What amount of weight does each symbol represent? That answer is just at the bottom. Each symbol represents 100 pounds. Okay, send me an email if I made any mistakes, because I'm sure I did. And stay safe, and I hope I see you soon.